Are short pastries. And in the world of short pastries, there are like three mother sauces, three main doughs that we're going to work on. Pâte brisée, pâte sucrée, pâte sablée. So what do we got? We're going to start with the most basic one, the pâte brisée. It's got the least amount of ingredients in there. So here's my brisée. I got the dry ingredients, the flour. Not much so far, right? We better sift that. Since we have our pastry flour, it's so lumpy, we better sift that. If your flour's not lumpy, don't worry about it. So this one we're going to use the biscuit method, so that's going to tell us we want to use cold butter. So my butter's in the refrigerator. Let's check it out. Sure enough, Ben's got me all fixed up here. And I left the liquid in there too. Well, the liquid's nice and cold. Now to cut that, well, maybe when your mom made this or something, we're going to do the same thing tomorrow with biscuits and scones and stuff like that, pie dough. And maybe your mom cut it with a fork or cut it with some knives or pinch it with their fingers. What you could do, that'd be fine. I think it's pretty convenient if you have a cheese grater. So grate, toss. It's easiest to weigh the butter first. If you try to grate it and then weigh it, well, you put it in a bowl and you try to weigh it and it just turns back into a butter ball. So suggestion, just weigh the butter first. Now you might lose a teeny bit, that's not crucial. Wouldn't be crucial. So tossy, light hand now, get everything separated, toss. So you're going to have pieces of fat surrounded by flour. We need 40% liquid, right, total? About half eggs and about half water. Now, if it's not exact, that's okay. So what does one egg weigh? 175. So suggestion, put your container on the scale, crack an egg in there, you're going to get 1.7, 1.8, something like that, and then fill the rest up with cold water. So don't try to squeeze a quarter of an ounce of egg out of another egg, just do the rest with water, okay? So it's approximately half water, half egg. So you want to pour it together just like that, eggs and water, 4 ounces. But don't forget to whisk it together. Magic scraping tool. Light hand now, easy, toss. So how much are we going to mix this? What do you think? Got a good word for me? Hydrated. Let's just hydrate the flour. That's all we need. And then what was the name of this dough again? Brisée, and it means broken. So we're not going to mix it till it's smooth. It's going to look broken, crumbly. So try to keep the pieces all separated. If you're pushing down, you're going the wrong way. So you keep everything flying high here. Yeah, here I have a little bit of that liquids in here, so I got to get that broken apart so it can hydrate. Okay. So the dough's still broken. Done. That's enough. As long as it holds together, we're going to roll it out, as long as it holds together, it's good to go. So light hand, it'll be nice and flaky. So that's 10 ounces there. Now if you're going to make this at home, how many cups of flour would you use to get 10 ounces? 2 cups, very good. Pretty inexpensive stuff. So a little light dusting of flour, easy, just so it doesn't stick on the table. Grab yourself a little rolling pin. And so I think we've been seeing that if something's stuck to the table, it doesn't roll out, right? So this is going to be one of the stickier doughs because we have those little pieces of fat in there, and they like to get stuck on the table. So you're going to have to roll a little bit, get some more flour under it, roll a little bit, get some more flour under it, light dusting on the top so your pin doesn't stick. So you should still see pieces of butter in there. That's going to give us our flake. So you're going to be mostly in the business, if you're in the culinary world, business of the smaller cookies. Petit four to go with your dessert or to go on the buffet line. So we have some cookie cutters up here. Take your pick. Let's stick on the smaller size for a little bit. Let's see, I think I'll try this one right here. Whee! Now if you get a little twist to it, you cut the dough, and with a little twist, the cookie should stay in the cutter. Sneak one out of there, sneak one out of there. And there's my raise right there, huh? All right, let's see. Well, how can we vary this color and stuff? Well, maybe we could do some jam. So we got a little bit of jam here. Some red. So as you make your cookies today, we're going to have some variations in color, in shape, and in texture. Probably need a little, maybe I could do a little window, huh? I suppose I could do, ooh, I got a real teeny weeny one here. Maybe I could do a little lunette with that one. 2 eyeballs. Yeah, 2 eyeballs. I guess I could do 3 eyeballs if I wanted to. Let's see, maybe I should shoot for another color. Let me try another color. So, whoa. Ben's got his famous pastry cream here, so have a little cream cookie. Yeah, I'll cut a little hole in that too. Maybe a bigger hole. Let's try a bigger hole. Now, I want to glue these two together. I think I'll need some water to help me out. So, to make a little cookie sandwich here, let's put some water on there. Then these two should stick together when they bake. Hey, what happened on that one? Jumped off the table. Well, now these are all double cookies. So you might say, well, that's a little bit big. I don't want a double one. Well, maybe we could do a little single here if I put a little raspberry in the center. So we have raspberry, we have pastry cream, which is, so we got red, yellow, and then we also have apricot jam, which is gold. So if you want to make some little assortment, we have those 3 colors to pick from. And, well, let's make just a little fold over. So now the cookie's not quite so big, it's just 1. So we'll give that a little fold over like so. Now, in these, there's no sugar in the dough, right? So we need to, since it's a cookie, we'll sweeten that up a little bit. Could you write this down for me? Put water and sugar on the top of your pâte brisée if you're going to make a sweet item. So I put a little water on there, and what the water does is melt the sugar, or liquefies the sugar. And then it'll be a smoother top when it comes out, a smoother, sweeter look to the top. This is just granulated sugar, yeah. Now we do have also, I should mention that, we have some TPT, which is a combination of sugar and almonds. And this one we have the more coarse sugar, which you can put on top also. Maybe I'll do just a little bit on that. So if you want a more sweet crunch, we have a larger granulation of sugar, the sanding sugar. And then Ben took some almonds and chopped them up about the same size. And that's called TPT, temps potent. And it's sort of an ingredient in a bake shop. You would say, I need 2 cups of TPT in here. And so it's used for various things. You can use that if you'd like. Now, we want these to be flaky and there's no sugar. So what do you think of an oven temperature? A little bit higher, yeah. So we want to get some steam in there to get them to poof, and we're going to need a little bit higher temperature to get them to turn brown. So we have two ovens today, one set at 375, one set at 325. So you have to look at the dough that you have, look at the cookies that you're making, and then pick the oven. So brisée, we're going to put those in at 375. Any of the other cookies we should probably cook at 375? The sour cream one, no sugar. So if you do make the sour cream one, no sugar, put it in the hot oven. The other ones will go in the cooler oven, 325. So I better put my name on here so I can tell the difference between mine and everybody else's. Ben, I thank you. So, and then these are the sour cream ones. So the thing, as you look at the sour cream, so why can we put sour cream in the cookie? What is it replacing, that sour cream? It's replacing the water in the egg. Is there about the same amount of fat in sour cream as there would be in that water and egg combo? How much fat is in sour cream by percent? 40%. What? How much? 40%. That's heavy cream. Sour cream, anybody remember? It's 20%. And then if you got the egg, you got the yolk and fats in the yolk, and you put some water and everything in there, it comes out to about 10%. So we have fat in the egg and water, we have fat in the sour cream. Maybe we could substitute the sour cream for the egg, and we'd end up with a very similar cookie with a little bit of a sour cream tang to it. So these are the ones made with sour cream. You can make those if you'd like. You just gently toss the sour cream in there in place of the egg and water. So let's see if these are flaky. So we take them out and say it should be flaky. Well, it seems to have got twice as high. So you see the jam's down in there. Now when you put the jam in here, the idea, we got a little bit of cookie covering that so it doesn't get like fruit leather. So it's still pretty soft, but I can touch the jam and it's not going to stick on my finger. So if I had these on a plate, that somebody could pick that up and not get the jam all over their fingers, or it wouldn't get stuck on the other cookies. So, and then here's the pastry cream one. So let's break the cookie. See if we have tender and flaky. That's what we're looking for. Well, it looks fairly tender, wouldn't you say? I don't have to get a chainsaw to bust it apart. And flakier than the teacher, so not too bad, not too bad. And here are the little ones that got pinched and folded over. So these are, of course, half size of that. So if you want a really super small 1 or 2 biter, okay? So let's try that sucre next, okay? Let me see. I got mine over here. So with this one, Ben's got some almond in here for us. So we're going to substitute some almond for some flour. Ben, what do we got, 20%? So 20% almond, 50% butter, easy number to remember. All the dry ingredients. Now, if I were going to use the creaming method, I wouldn't mix the sugar and the flour together, right? I'd have to mix the sugar and the butter together. Which you can do. You could mix that by hand. That's pretty easy. We're going to try that biscuit method thing again. So I'll go in the fridge. We'll get our butter. So biscuit method, cold butter, cut. We'll try that cheese grater again. I think I need 1 egg. And in the sucre sable, you're going to add some vanilla. So make sure you kind of put a circle there by the vanilla, or a star. So you see where it says yes there for the vanilla. So we need a little vanilla, especially because our flour is kind of dry. So if you forget the vanilla, it's going to be a little bit dry. So maybe a teaspoon for every 10 ounces. Let's try that. And don't forget to whisk that together. All right, tossy again, just to hydrate. So let's see. Okay, well that kind of looks like, that still looks like the brisée category. So far we have now we got our pot brisée, right? But this isn't going to be a flaky cookie. We want that all mixed smooth. So we need one more little term. I think you have it there. It looks like Fraser. We're going to call it fraisé. Fraisé. So you take your hydrated dough out. So if you take this out and it still has a bunch of flour in it, it's not quite hydrated. So make sure it's all hydrated. And then we're going to smear it. So this does a couple things, this method. One, the dough is going to stay cold. Two, we don't need a mixer. This is about the easiest way to mix these without using the mixer. So you smear it on the table. We want to mix it like yesterday with all of our butter mixed smooth. Roll it up, turn it once. The word fraisé actually refers to the look. So as you look at these, we have some little waves, some little ocean waves. And that actually refers to some braids on a chef's collar, the executive chef's collar. Now years ago, how did you know who the head honcho was, who the El Jefe was, the executive chef? Well, for a while, they were wearing a sword. It might have got a little bit inconvenient, cut somebody's leg off, so that went away. And so then they went to the tall hat thing, which was probably Escoffier, that little short guy, so he needed a tall fin to go around the kitchen. And then they went to, for a while, it was then the braids on the collar, kind of going to the military type look of the jacket and everything. And so that's what it's supposed to look like. In other words, if you keep that in mind, it's not this. So you're not just flattening the dough, you're smearing the butter on the table so that you get these little waves in the dough. Fraisé. Fraisé. So now, this dough is still cool, and maybe you could check out the back of your hand. Is that temperature? Still cool, so it's ready to go. Now, if you did this with a creaming method, it would be very, very soft. It would have to go in the refrigerator like this, not in a dough ball. If you make a big ball of dough and you put it in the fridge, you're trying to chill it. Well, when the outside's chilled, how about the inside? Yeah, still warm. Or when you take it out and try to warm it up a little bit, the outside gets warm and the inside stays cold. So a lot of times, of course, these big batches are made. They're put in a sheet pan, nice low profile. So you put it in, chills evenly, take it out, warms up evenly. Since our dough is cold, we're ready to go. We're chefs, we're on the fly. Don't 86 it, I'll have it for you in 10 minutes. Now, suggestion. Cut your dough in half. All these doughs, cut them in half. It just gets kind of big to work with, and if it gets all messed up, then you have at least a little backup. So if you haven't done this before especially, cut that in half. Well, I'm going to roll the whole thing out here. So there's a lot of turning. So I would suggest, could you write that down on the top? Cut your dough in half. It's so much easier to work with. And if I cut my dough in half, maybe Anne made a chocolate pot sucré. I could trade half of my white dough for her chocolate dough. Then I'd have some chocolate on my little plate also. So, all right? So, well, again, then if we're going to do some small cookies, let's see. Let me try that one. Try that one. I'm going to just do perfect, perfect. So I'll blind bake a set, anticipating a little chocolate sandwich later. And then, let's see, let's do our little window pane again. Get myself some raspberry jam here. And for these, they kind of melt right into each other, so you don't need the water. Maybe I could do a little, just like before, a little fold, little pinch in the middle there. Maybe I could fold them all the way over, a little Pop-Tart, huh? Now, if you make a little cookie like this and just put the jam on top like that, and that bakes, it just gets stuck right in your teeth. So it really dries out the jam. So you need some way to kind of semi-cover it there so the jam stays nice and soft. So you have those options. Well, you know, maybe Mr. Booth over there, maybe he's just flat out hungry and wants it supersized. So we could take a bigger cutter. That's we better not put them on the same sheet as those. So they're a little bit smaller. So we'll pass that to Ben. So if you want to make some bigger ones for yourself, that's okay, but don't put them on my plate, all right? I just want the smaller ones. But you're going to have some extra dough, so make it do a bigger one like this. You can make some bigger ones for yourself. Maybe I could just roll the whole thing out to a flat square. Maybe I don't have a cookie cutter, and maybe I want like a diamond shape or a square shape. And let's try this then. Get it trimmed up a little bit there. Now you could, I guess if I had a banquet, I guess I could roll it out on the whole sheet pan here and then bake that, pre-bake that. I don't want it to bubble up, so I can use a special docking tool or a fork, whatever you'd like. We're going to bake that till it's nice and crispy brown, all right? Okay, so what do we got? So now this cookie then is not flaky. It should be kind of crispy. So you snap it open, kind of crispy. And so you see your jam's a little bit protected there, so it's not really too hard. We'll take some ganache later, put them between those two, and cement those two together like that. So here's the, actually I'll pass these around for your snacks, okay? So here are the bigger ones. That's a nice cookie. Get yourself a cup of coffee. Goes like that. So I'll pass these around for eating purposes. That one's pretty warm. Oh, this is what I want. So here's my pot sucré from before. Now see how it's nice? It's done. Okay, kissed with brown in the bottom, all around. It's nice and crispy, nice and done. So I can take some raspberry jam, or whatever kind of nice jam that a person makes. And for whatever flavor and color a person would like. And Ben, how's our streusel? If you would be so kind. We'll grab us some streusel. Thin layer. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. You can put a little crumbly stuff on the top. So if you don't pre-bake it, the dough stays a little bit soggy. So we can put a little crumbly streusel stuff on the top. And then that just gets baked until the jam doesn't get stuck to your finger anymore. So you're just heating it up, just taking a little bit of the stickiness off, and then we'll be able to cut that in diamond shapes or any shape, square, etc. So Sablé, what kind of sugar do you have? Confectioner's sugar. So why would we use confectioner's instead of granulated? What? Softer, not necessarily. So the spread. This is going to have so much fat in it, it'd just be like cooking a hunk of butter, and so it would just go flat. So if we put in confectioner's sugar, that should hold it back together a little bit, okay? So the sucre, that needs to be rolled out and cut. If you had double thickness of that, it's pretty tough. So you want to have a thin layer cut with a cookie cutter. Got my butter in the fridge. 8 ounces of butter, 80% butter. Cheese grater. If you want to put an egg in there, put in 1 yolk. It's kind of easy. If I had a triple batch, well, I could put in a whole egg. Yeah. So the yolk or the white, but with your batch here, you can put in the yolk. I'm not going to put any egg in there, but I am going to put in some vanilla. If I get enough fat in there, that will smooth out the flour, so to speak. Now this one's got so much fat in it, so I'm going to pinch this one together, and I'll have to do that to get it hydrated. But there's hardly any liquid in here. So this would be more called a short dough. In other words, no liquid. We have an official shortening dough. Short. There it goes, there it goes. Then we'll do the fraise. Roll it up, turn it, hit it one more time. Now this one is so soft, if you try to roll it out on the table, it just sticks everywhere. So we're going to do a little rolled log with this one, would be my suggestion. You might want to write that up on top of that column there, rolled log. I can suggest you cut it in half. Don't they have them like that at the grocery store in the tube? We could do that. Now if I had something going on for the weekend, I guess I could just put this in the refrigerator and cut it when I needed it. That might save me a little room. And we're going to cut them out right now. I guess if I were wily, I could roll out 3 or 4 of them if I have them all the same size, and I could cut 3 or 4 at a time. So that'd save me a little bit of time. I could order them from the purveyor. That'd save me a lot of time. But then they don't need me, right? Maybe I want that one a little smaller even. That's going to be a teeny one. So with a little bit of dough, you can make a lot of cookies. A lot of petit four, small cookies. Well, maybe that's kind of plain. Maybe I could put a little, or a fingerprint. Maybe I could put a little red jam, some apricot jam. Maybe I'd like a little crunch to that. Let's get that TPT back out here. A little sugar and almond on the top. I guess I could roll the log in the sugar and the nuts. And this way, I mean, you could do sugar and pistachios if you want a different color on there or a different flavor. You could do it. Okay. And I could put a little jam in there if you wanted to.